Hey, I'm Keith with Sprocket Speed Shop here in Orlando, Florida. I'm with Scotty, one of my techs. We are actually about to show you how to install Racing Brothers Art of Suspension. I believe this is their chicane kit, is what they were calling it. Comes with compression and rebound adjusters to allow for rebound and compression on your forks. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial. If I cut some corners here and there, please be patient with me. It's late in the afternoon and we're ready to go home. First off, what you got to do is you need a 36 millimeter to remove the cap off the top. Good.
As you see, it's already been loose.
This is tutorial purposes because there's not a lot of information on these kits in the internet right now. Also, by cutting corners, I mean if I don't show you exact torque specs and that kind of stuff, it's something we will do at the end. It's just to save time, so that way you're not watching a 30-minute video how to install cartridge kits.
Okay.
After you've loosened the cap, there is a Allen key on top, and you have to, we're going to use this giant crescent wrench to hold it. Slippery little guy. Okay, go ahead. Once you break that little guy free, remove the cap screw. For this particular kit, they give you new caps. So with the new caps, you don't need any of this because they supply with the stir clips and washers and spacers if you need them. I believe these are for the 2017-18 Groms. This is for, I think it's 14-15. Here, what we're doing is we pull this top off of here. I like to keep everything in order just so that way, you know, future reference, or if you need to go back, it's easier to check up on everything. Now, at this point, we have a little tiny C-clip here. Unfortunately, this guy's a little bugger. We use a little trick where we take a flathead screwdriver, and if you put it between it and you twist it so it goes up, you can usually walk this all the way around. Be careful. At this point, there's no seals involved, but I'm a real stickler as far as using a flathead screwdriver and gouging any kind of metal and causing it to scar the plate. So what we do is we just try to use as minimal as possible to get this off of here. Of course, it is super slippery. You can wear rubber gloves if you want to. Me, I'm so old, I don't care. I've got all this oil and poison in my body anyways. After we remove that clip, what we're going to do here is empty this oil out. What you're going to want to do is turn it over, and you have to pump it a little bit to get it to come out. Be careful not to pull it all the way out. There are two tiny, actually there's 4 holes. There's 4 holes. There's 4 holes in this chrome part of the tube. If you get too far out, all the oil will pour out of there that's left up in this part of the leg. So what you want to do is you want to try to pump as much of this out as possible. Mind you, there's, I believe, 220 to 250 cc's of fork fluid in here, so there's a little bit in here. I want to get as much out as possible and make the job as least amount of messy as possible. These are the 4 holes I was explaining to you earlier. See them? And what'll happen is when you turn it sideways, see the oil come out of it. What that'll do is that'll trap between your seal and your dust cover, and it'll cause it to sweat until it actually all works its way out of the system. Come here, right, please. At this point in the game, it's going to take about anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, depending on what kind of torch you use or how hot how fast you plan on heating it. It sounds funny, like you might burn the paint, but what you're going to want to do is you want to use a torch, and what you're going to do is because you have to remove the foot off of the chrome tube. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to heat this. You don't have to heat up here. What you need to do is heat this portion, basically from the fender bracket. Or is that the caliper one? That's the caliper one, isn't it? For that one?
No, caliper's on the other side.
Is it? Okay, that's wrong port tube, sorry. So basically what's happening is you're going to want to heat this bottom 2 inches or so here. And what you're doing is you're going to cause the thread lock that's in here from the factory to be broken free, and it allows for easier removal. Because if you try to remove it right now, you stick something metal through here, you're liable to, believe it or not, the thread lock, you could do serious damage to your axle, hole, all kinds of stuff. So something I forgot to mention is a lot of people don't understand how you hang onto the fork tube. Please, whatever you do, is super expensive to replace any part of your fork. The best way that we found out is Racetech actually sells a kit which has a little pin on it, and it goes to both sides of the fork tube, and it allows you to put this fork in a vise, and it keeps it from spinning. Okay, by doing this you stop all kinds of damage. I believe the kit also comes with a 14mm Allen key. At that point, what you'll want to do is pick yourself up, or you probably already have it in your toolkit, is a 14mm socket, so that way you can do it that way. Or for some of us, we already have them. Just trying to help you guys out. But go ahead, we're gonna head and heat this up real quick, and then I'll get back when we go to break the heat free. When I was saying we were heating, you want to heat like this. The bottom 2 inches or so, and come across the bottom of the chrome tube like this. And what that does is that allows to help break free the Loctite that's on it. And again, you're probably gonna try doing this for anywhere from, depending on your situation, if you're up north, it's probably gonna take a little bit longer. Down here in Florida, it's 1,000 degrees. I think we're only like 100 feet from the sun. So it doesn't take as long for us to do stuff down here. Again, probably 2 minutes or so doing this, and it'll break it free for you. Try not to stay in one spot because you don't really want to burn the paint. It's powder coated, so it's usually pretty resilient to this. And mind you, it's going to get close to 200, 250, maybe 300 degrees. So you want to make sure you're wearing gloves. As you see, Scotty went and put his on. Little shameless spam here. Thank you, Vortex, for the free hookup.
Oh, there you go.
Just go ahead and, like I said, be careful because it gets super hot. Even after 5 minutes, this chrome tube will even still stay smoking hot.
Did you mention a reverse thread?
Yeah. Also on the Grom port tubes, to remove this, you have to go clockwise. It's a reverse thread setup. Go ahead and see if this is break free yet. There you go. So at this point, what's going on here is You can use some kind of punch, or even your axle will work. I don't recommend your axle because sometimes if you're trying too hard and the Loctite hasn't broken free, what'll end up happening is you'll bend your axle. And then at that point you're buying another axle. Or you can buy another axle or get one off of eBay or whatever, so that way you have some sort of means to do this. I'm gonna grab my gloves real quick.
And just so you know, this piece right here is still blazing hot. So if you want to set it on the concrete, no wood, no plastic, no metal, I mean anything like that, that's gonna
Nothing
burn
is gonna
up.
melt.
And out of the way so nobody kicks it.
You can use whatever method, rag, whatever. I usually just take my glove and I try to break all the old Loctite and everything off of it. Yep. Now, man, that sucker's hot. Okay. All right. As you can see, the threads are pretty clean. This one's actually looks like it's been picking up a little bit of rust, so it must have been sitting where the water was. Yeah, water's been catching up inside the pocket of the foot. Now on top here, there's a little tiny. See this little tiny rubber gasket? You're gonna want to remove this because you have to put it back on before you. It's not in there real hard. You can just take just be careful not to cut it. And what that does is that keeps a lot of the smack out of there. It doesn't actually hold any fluid. And again, this is how our port tube holders work. It allows you from tearing up, making any damage, scarring up okay, now what we're gonna do is on top here, when it's still warm, it actually helps us because we're able to work it a little bit easier, but you kind of want to do this with two people. You want to hang on to here. It's warm, so the faster he does it, the better. You want to break that top cap free, and it is a pain in the. Make sure you don't punch your buddy out in the process. We're serious about this stuff, but we have a good time. Now, when you get close to the end threads on this, you can keep going if you want, and I'll just explain as you're going. As this is coming up, when you get close to the end, what it's going to do is it's going to want to pop up on you because of the spring. It's going to want to pop up, and at that point, like I said, it's always better to have 4 hands and better than 2. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to break this free out of here, and like I said, I kind of like to keep everything clean, so I always keep a rag close by to work less miss. Now, at this point, okay, this is still warm to touch. I mean, we work on race motors constantly, so this is still pretty warm. I should really put gloves on, but basically what you're going to want to do here is push this down to where you can retrieve this spring, because these forks are upside down. Actually, that spring is even hot too, so I'm actually going to put a glove on. What you're going to do here is you're going to pull this spring out, and then there is a yeah, I know. So now with this kit, he's opted for the 6.5s on this. You're going to want to remove this spring because you have to use it here. All right, once you've got this spring back on this side, this is the stock one. Now here's where it gets tricky. The caps that they give you, this is the rebound side. On the rebound, in these great instructions that they give you as a consumer, I mean, fit and finish, this kit seems pretty good. It's from China or Taiwan, so I mean, it is what it is. Us, we prefer Olin, K-Tech, Race Tech, over this kind of stuff. But as we have here is with the rebound side here, the rebound side. See how this little clip has teeth pointing this way, and on the compression side the teeth are pointing towards the bottom. Okay, that would be this little clip right here, and what you do is it's plastic is basically what it is, so be super careful with it, because if you break it, you're done. So pull it off, super careful. And you see how it had, let me go over stainless steel so you can see it. See how the teeth, it's like a castle, the teeth are on the top. Okay, so down here with the rebound side, which is the red side, the rebound says that the teeth have to be facing up the rod. So at that point, on this rod, in this little slot right here, what we're doing is we're dropping this into here. Is that the guy with the tire? What is that? We got somebody outside. It sounds like it's got a 4-cylinder on its 1 cylinder. Also on this, your adjustment rod that's inside this tube, you have to turn it easy and it'll drop in, and so it's only sticking out roughly not even 1/4 of an inch. Okay, now at this point we have to take this, we have to slide it back in here. You be super careful not to